Let us see first of all A. Placopora. The classes include A. Placopora, Polyplacopora, Monoplacopora, Gastropoda, Scaphopoda, Pelsipoda, and Cephalopoda. These are the 7 classes of phylum Mollusca. In that, seven classes. In that, first of all, let us see the A. Placopora. First of all, we'll go with examples of this A. Placopora. Examples include Neomenia and Ketoderma. Neomenia and Ketoderma. Examples of A. Placopora, Neomenia and Ketoderma. Neomenia and Ketoderma, we use it to say. So that A. Placopora, these are called primitive worm-like mollusks. That A. Placopora are called primitive worm-like molluscans. Okay, so worm-like molluscan, primitive worm-like molluscans. We say these mollusks are primitive worm-like mollusks. And next, that here there is no mantle, shell, food, and nephridia. Mantle, shell, food, and nephridia are absent here. Okay, are absent. Shell is absent. That's why we say that A. Placopora. Shell, absence of shell makes that name. A. Placopora. Mantle, shell, food, nephridia are absent. Head is poorly developed. In case of these animals, head is poorly developed. Okay, head is poorly developed. The characteristic features to be remembered over the primitive worm-like mollusk, mantle, shell, foot, and nephridia are absent. Head is poorly developed. And radula. Radula, we said it over. All 7 classes, all the classes of phylum Mollusca are having radula except bivalvia, Pelsipodens. They don't have radula. But all the remaining are having radula. Radula is present. And the cuticle contain calcareous spicules. The cuticle of these animals contain calcareous spicules. Cuticle contain calcareous spicules. Then in some, we say the foot is absent. The foot is absent, we declared. But in some of these aplacoporans, in some, there is a mid-ventral groove. There is a mid-ventral groove which is homologous to the mid-ventral groove is present, which is homologous. That means similar to the foot of the other mollusks. That here foot is absent, but there is some mid-ventral groove which is homologous to the foot of other mollusks. So to be remembered, the characteristic features like primitive worm-like mollusk, mantle, shell, foot, and nephridia are absent. Mantle, shell, foot, and nephridia are absent. Head is poorly developed. In these animals, head is poorly developed. Then Rhodila is present like all the remaining classes except Pelsipoda. The Rhodila is present in all the phylum Mollusca. Then classes of phylum Mollusca. The cuticle contain calcareous spicules. In some, that what we said, in some there is a mid-ventral groove. In some there is a mid-ventral groove that which is homologous to the foot of the other mollusks. So examples what we said, Neomenia and Ketoderma. So generally that organism look like this. The cuticle contain calcareous spicules and worm-like mollusks, as I drawn that worm-like mollusks, mantle, shell, food, nephridia are absent. Mantle, shell, food, nephridia are absent. Head is poorly developed, not much developed. Then radula is present, rasping structure, file-like rasping structure, radula is present. And cuticle contain calcareous spicules. There is a mid-ventral groove. There is a mid-ventral groove which is homologous to the foot of other mollusks. That's all about the characteristic features of A. Placopora. Neomenia and Ketoderma are examples for these. Neomenia and Ketoderma. Then let's get into the Polyplacopora. Polyplacopora. That poly. That we said in case of Aplacopora, A means without, placos, plate, shell is absent. So here the same, poly means many. That placo, the placos means plate, ferrin, pora means bearing. So that means shell bearing organisms. These are the examples. We'll take examples. Chiton and Lepidopleurus. Chiton and Lepidopleurus. Examples of Polyplacopora, Chiton and Lepidopleurus. Let's come with the characteristic features of Polyplacopora. That in these animals, that this class include chitons. This class include chitons. Polyplacopora, the class include chitons. As we said, that chiton and Lepidopleurus are the example. In general, these are even called chitons. Okay. They are bilaterally symmetrical animals and dorsoventrally flattened. Bilaterally symmetrical animals, dorsoventrally flattened. Bilaterally symmetrical animals and dorsoventrally flattened. That means from dorsal and ventral side they are compressed, bilaterally symmetrical animal with dorsoventral flattened condition, we can say. So dorsoventrally flattened. Next, here that shell, we just have said about the Polyplacopora. That word denotes the shell is dorsal and consists of 8 transverse plates. Shell is dorsal and consists of 8 transverse plates. Polyplacopora, many shell is divided into many plates or walls, we can say. Hence, we called it as Polyplacopora. Okay. So then, about the foot, we have to talk about the foot. As I said, the foot is the characteristic feature of phylum Mollusca. Foot is ventrally. Foot is ventrally and elongated and flat. Foot is ventral, elongated and flat. So foot plays a role here in everywhere. Aplacopora, we said that there is a foot is absent actually, but in case of Aplacopora we are talking, foot is absent, but a mid-ventral groove is homologous to the foot of other molars that we said. Here in case of Polyplacopora, we are going to say foot is ventral, elongated and flat. Okay. Next, the gills are present, respiratory organ gills, we call it as ctenidia. Gills are 6 to 88 pairs. 6 to 88 pairs of gills are present here. Okay. Next, development include that indirect development is there here. That means that we say development include a larval form called trochophore larva. Development include trochophore larva. So what do you say? That is indirect development. Okay. So these are the characteristic features of this particular Polyplacopora of phylum Mollusca. That to be remembered, all these are the classes, 7 classes. We are moving our way phylum Mollusca. So phylum Mollusca, let me write. Phylum Mollusca is having 7 classes: Aplacopora, Polyplacopora, Monoplacopora, Gastropoda, Scaphopoda, Pelsipoda, Cephalopoda. As we are seeing the Aplacopora, that organisms without shell, and now we came with the Polyplacopora. That organism is with shell is divided into 8 plates. The shell is divided into 8 plates. So talking about the chiton. Chiton on the dorsal side, you can see the shell is divided into 8 plates. Okay, so that's why we call it as Polyplacopora. That's why it is said to be as Polyplacopora. Okay, so that include chitons. I'm showing a chiton here. So bilaterally symmetrical and dorsoventrally flattened. Dorsoventrally flattened body they have, and foot is ventral, elongated and flat. So ventral side I'm showing the foot. Foot is ventral, elongated and the flat foot ventral side is present here. So this is the dorsal side, which shell is divided into 8 transverse plates or valves. Okay. The gills are about 6 to 88 pairs of gills are present here in this organism. Development is the indirect development with a larval form called trophophore larva. Examples, chiton and Lepidopleurus. Chiton and Lepidopleurus. Okay. The third class of phylum Mollusca we are going. Phylum Mollusca class 3, Monoplacopora. Mono, single, placos, plate. That means single shell. Okay, then here the names are given. These three names particularly, Aplacopora, Polyplacopora, Monoplacopora. These three names based on the shell. The first one we said shell is absent. In second, Polyplacopora shell is divided into 8 plates. And now in the third, Monoplacopora shell is single and plate-like. So the very specialties, Monoplacopora. We have only one example, Neopilina galathea. Neopilina galathea. Only one example we have, that is Neopilina galathea. Oceanographic research vessel Galathea. That there it was identified. Then from there on that particular name it was given as Galathea. Okay. So what is the speciality of these animals? The members of this class were believed to have become extinct millions of years ago. So these animals are believed to be extincted millions of years ago. Actually, that their presence is not recognized. They said that scientists felt like they are extincted. These animals are believed to be extincted. Animals are believed to be extincted millions of years ago. Millions of years ago, we just believed over they get extincted, but here Neopilina was collected from the deep sea of the Pacific coast of Africa. This Neopilina is identified that collected from the deep sea of Pacific coast of Costa Rica. Pacific coast of Costa Rica in 1952. In 1952, by an oceanographic research vessel, by the people, oceanographic research vessel Galathea. Oceanographic research vessel Galathea. There they get identified actually. Why the name, species name Galathea, I think you came to understand now. So 1952, the oceanographic by the oceanographic research vessel Galathea, that day in the deep sea of Pacific, in the deep sea Pacific coast of Costa Rica, it was identified. Before that, the scientists believed that they got extincted actually millions of years ago itself. They got extincted. That there at the time they felt like so. Okay, they felt they got extincted. But after that, we got recognized an animal from this Monoplacopora, that is in 1952 oceanographic research vessel Galathea. Okay. Next, let's come with the characteristic features. Are the more specialities we have. We have more other specialities in Monoplacopora. Monoplacopora is with some more specialities here. Then as well, they are bilaterally symmetrical, no doubt about that. Bilaterally symmetrical. Why we are going to mention here? Because that phylum Mollusca is belongs to the grade Bilateria. That's why bilateral symmetrical. Okay, but some of the members of phylum Mollusca are asymmetrical, isn't it? That will come in the next class. Gastropoda. Okay, so that's why we are specifying here bilaterally symmetrical animal. Okay, nephridia and gills show serial repetition. Nephridia and gills, excretory and respiratory organ, show serial repetition. What is serial repetition? That we learn in earthworm. That serial repetition of the internal organs. That means integumentary nephridia, septal nephridia, most of the organs, if we take, they repeat over in the segments, isn't it? So, nephridia and gills show serial repetition. Then some people call it as internal segmentation even. Some may call it as internal segmentation. So, serial repetition of the internal organs, which is believed to be as an internal segmentation. With these, what we can understand and to whom we compare this Monoplacopora, because of having the serial repetition of the internal organs like nephridia and gills. We compared with phylum Annelida, isn't it? So that's why it is said to be, it is a connecting link between, because of this only, it is believed to be that internal segmentation is a characteristic feature which is there in Annelida, septa, earthworm we are seeing. Okay, the similar kind of character is present in these organisms. So that's why we believed that these organisms are the connecting link. Neopilina galathea is a connecting link between, because of this character, we recognize that it is a connecting link between Annelida and mollusca. We are going to learn this back again in next that organic evolution chapter. Just for information, I am showing here that we believed it as a connecting link between Annelida and mollusca. Okay, so the nephridia gills show serial repetition and internal segmentation. Because of that, we said that particular feature, the connecting link between Annelida and mollusca. We said next. Let's go with some more characters here, like some more characters we have that we learned over. The shell is single and plate-like. What we said here, shell is monoplacopora. Shell is single and plate-like. Plate-like shell. Single plate-like shell. Polyplacopora. Earlier we said shell is divided into 8 plates, isn't it? So here shell is single and plate-like. Heart is there. Heart is unique. The heart is unique. So if it is having internal segmentation, why don't you join there in Annelida? That's the most of the characters are belongs to mollusca. Some characters resembles Annelida. So that's why we use it to say it is a connecting link between the Annelida and mollusca. Okay, heart is unique with two pairs of, heart is unique with two pairs of atria, two pairs of atria which are opening into the ventricles. If they are opening into two ventricles. Okay, so these are the characteristic features. They're opening into two ventricles. Okay, so heart is unique, and what we said, that opening into the two ventricles. Shell is single and plate-like, we say. And also what we said, that heart is unique with two pairs of atria and two which are opening into the two ventricles, opening into two ventricles. So these are the characteristic features here, that monoplacopora, the animals are believed to be, these animals are believed to be extincted millions of years ago. Believed to be extincted millions of years ago itself, they got believed to be extincted. But in the deep sea Pacific coast of, okay, so let me write here. These animals are believed to be extincted millions of years ago. Inference we wrote here that afterwards. They believed to be extincted millions of years ago. So all are specialities itself. But in the deep sea, the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, we identified these organisms. We made it like that. But in the deep sea, Pacific coast of Costa Rica, in 1952, oceanographic research vessel in Galathea, that we discovered these particular organisms. Okay. So that these are bilaterally symmetric animal, nephridia, gills showing serial repetition. Serial repetition of the internal organs is a characteristic feature of phylum Annelida. That's why we called it as a connecting link between the Annelida and the mollusca. Shell is single in plate-like. Heart is unique with two pairs of atria opening into the two ventricle. Example, Neopilina galathea. Neopilina galathea is the example here. Neopilina galathea. Okay. Next, gastropoda. Very important. The phylum mollusca is having class gastropoda. In neat point of view, the most characters will be taken consideration of gastropoda only. That's why in neat examination point of view, that gastropoda is very important here. So first of all, let us write the examples. Then after, we'll move into the other characteristic features here. So let me write the examples first. We said examples yesterday. Phyla. Phyla, commonly called apple snail. Phyla is commonly said to be as apple snail. Okay, so phyla, apple snail. Aplysia. Aplysia, commonly called sea hare. Aplysia, sea hare. Next, Doris. Doris, sea lemon. By the shapes, we use it to say like that. Doris, sea lemon. Okay, so Phyla, apple snail, Aplysia, sea hare, Doris, sea lemon. Okay, so these are the examples for this. And what are the specialities of Gastropoda? Gastropoda is the largest and most diverse class of the phylum Mollusca. Largest and most diverse class. Diverse, what it mean? Various kind of species are present with various special characteristic features. So most diverse class, largest and most diverse class of the phylum Mollusca. Next, here include that the commonly called that phylum Mollusca, the gastropoda includes snails, slugs, lymphates, lymphates like patella. Patella is called lymphate. Okay, so that these are all different kinds of common names we have here in this commonly called snails, slugs, lymphates. Likewise, the various types of variations with diversified species are present, and by habitat when it comes, some are freshwater and some are terrestrial. Maybe freshwater, some are terrestrial, we can say, and mostly marine. Mostly marine. Some are freshwater, some are terrestrial, but mostly marine organisms we can see. Okay. Snail itself, some live on freshwater, some live in marine, like various kinds of snails we have. Shell, about the shell. So, before I write about the shell, let me show you. This is the well-known organism. So that's why let me, that you might have recognized over when you go to the marine water, or that means in the coastal regions. So we can see these kind of shells, isn't it? Okay, so this is the shell actually. This is shell. Okay, so do you know these are having various kinds of shells based on their door where it is present. So I'm showing the door here. Door, what I mean in general words, people say, but this is the opening from where that snail go and come in. Okay, so this the based on this particular side where it opens, sinistral and dextral, we used to have different kinds of shells. No matter, just we'll go with that. You know that very well. That's why I'm showing in the form of diagram. So what do you say? Shell is external. Shell is external. That body outside the body. Shell is in general. Shell is external. About the shell, we have to discuss more about the shell. Okay, so that shell is external. So also called univalvular. Univalvular. So why it is called univalvular? By comparison with next class, you'll find over. Univalve and spirally coiled. Univalvular, spirally coiled. Shell is external, univalve, and spirally coiled. So that is a speciality. Okay. So that spirally coiled univalvular shell on the diagram you can see here. They are not in all actually. In some shell is absent. So that we are writing separately. In some shell is absent. Shell is absent. That we have an example. Doris, sea lemon itself that shell is absent in them. Yes, so Doris, sea lemon shell is absent. But what I am showing here, Phyla, Phyla globosa, which is having univalvular twisted shell, spirally coiled shell. Okay, head is distinct with eyes and tentacles. That in these organisms, head is distinct with eyes and tentacles. It is distinct with eyes and tentacles. Actually, the model diagram I shown in the previous class, that is belongs to that. By taking that gastropoda in mind, we just taken. So it is distinct with eyes and tentacles as is shown in the previous class diagram. Eyes and tentacles. So radula, as usual, common for all. Radula occurs in all that except Velcipoda, isn't it? So radula present is present, as we have to see. Next, radula is present. So next, food. We have to discuss about the food. From the beginning, we are saying food is ventral. Foot is ventral, flattened. Foot is ventral, flattened, muscular. Foot is ventral, flattened, muscular, and helps in creeping. Flattened, muscular, and helps in creeping. So from the beginning we are following food, isn't it? In Aplacophora we said food is absent, but there is a small representation in some animals as a midventral group. In case of Polyplacophora, was what we said, food is ventral and flattened. Food is ventral and flattened in case of Polyplacophora. And Monoplacophora, the same we said, food is ventral and flattened. Food is ventral and flattened. Food is there in case of Monoplacophora. And now in Gastropoda, the same. Foot is ventral, flattened, and muscular, helps in creeping. Respiratory organs about Gastropoda. As usual, all that have gills as a respiratory organ, we call them as Ctenidia. But here, that some special because we said some are terrestrial even, isn't it? So some are terrestrial even. So that's why need to elaborate the respiratory organ gills for aquatic animals. No doubt, respiratory organs are gills for aquatic animals. Then lungs, we call them as pulmonary sacs. We can't compare with our lungs. That pulmonary sacs, lung-like structures, pulmonary sacs are present in terrestrial form. Some are amphibious. That means they can live in water and land. So in them, both lungs and gills can be present over. Lungs and gills both can be seen over in some. So that are respiratory organs. During embryonic development, that have a huge special feature that we have to discuss about this. That gastropods are having asymmetry, isn't it? The gastropods are asymmetrical. So why asymmetry? So that we have to talk about. The gastropods are asymmetrical. So during embryonic development, if you take a larval form, the larval form is with bilateral symmetry, no doubt about that. The larval form is with bilateral symmetry. If you cut, you'll get two equal lateral halves. So what happened then when it is becoming adult to live in the shell? What happened there? The particular, so I am overwriting here, just please excuse me. So this is the larval form, is having bilateral symmetry. During embryonic development, the growth occurs only in one direction, like this. That means like this. The growth occurs in one direction and it is getting twisted up. One direction and twisted up, and almost posterior portion will come to parallel to the anterior portion. It is called 180 degrees angle, the growth. Okay. So 180 degrees angle of the growth. So that I will show you once again. So the torsion we use it to say. The development occurs in one direction and that particular organs are getting twisted up inside. The twist and the growth of posterior growth, the posterior part will be 180 degrees angle. It will turn towards the anterior part. So that what you say simply this particular feature as torsion. Okay. Due to the torsion, a bilaterally symmetrical larval form will become asymmetrical. So why torsion? We have answer actually. Why torsion? That to live in the shell. That means to make accommodation in the small shell. Okay, so the body is getting twisted up. So internal organs are also getting twisted up. So our said bilateral symmetry cannot be expected over. Okay, so due to the torsion, a bilaterally symmetrical larva will become asymmetrical adult. To live in the shell, one of the adaptation we use it to say asymmetrical adult. Bilaterally symmetrical larva will become asymmetrical adult, and that is a unique feature, and that is having all the possibilities in as a question here. As a gastropod or as a phylum molluscan, that you have to recognize this particular feature. Okay, if you get in options, Class Gastropoda. Okay, we'll select. Otherwise, Mollusca, even we have to select. So that means this is very, very important feature here. So what is the feature there? During embryonic development, so let me adjust. During the embryonic development, one side of the visceral mass, as I have shown now, one side of the visceral mass, posterior side, the visceral mass grows faster. They grows faster than the other side. Okay, so that what it results that this uneven growth results what? This uneven growth rotates the body. This uneven growth rotates the visceral organs and rotate the visceral organs. That means inner visceral organ, visceral mass containing visceral mass, nothing but visceral organ. Visceral mass which will be rotated up to 180 degrees angle. So this process we call torsion. This process is called torsion. Okay, this process is called torsion. Very, very important feature that to be remembered as torsion. Okay. So torsion results that as a bilaterally symmetrical larva will become asymmetrical adult. Because of torsion itself, that particular bilateral symmetrical larva will become asymmetrical adult. Okay, so that's the gastropod feature. Next, finally, there are dioecious. What is dioecious? That what do you call unisexual animals? Dioecious, unisexual animals, and development is indirect development with a larval form. Indirect development with a larval form. We have to announce larva also. When we announce as indirect development, we should say the name of the larva. Veliger is the larva. Veliger larva. So this is the gastropoda. Story of gastropoda. Gastropods are said to be largest and most diverse class of the mollusca. Then snails, slugs, limpets are belongs to this particular gastropoda. Freshwater and terrestrial, mostly marine actually. Some live in freshwater and terrestrial condition. Shell is external, univalvular and spirally coiled. In some shell is absent. That example Doris sea lemon. Head is distinct with eyes and tentacles. Radula is present. Foot is ventral, flattened, muscular, and helps in creeping. Respiratory organ, gills or lungs, pulmonary sacs, or both you will find over in case of amphibious animal. During embryonic development, one side of visceral mass grows faster than the other side. This uneven growth rotates the visceral mass up to 180 degrees angle, which turns at a process called torsion, which turns a bilaterally symmetrical larval form will be turned into the asymmetrical form. Okay. So dioecious indirect development, which we call the larval form, is said to be veliger. Veliger is the larval form. Okay, that's it about gastropoda. Gastropoda. Next, scaphopoda. We have to discuss about scaphopoda. So scaphopoda examples. First, we'll write the examples of scaphopoda: dentalium and pulsellum. What are the examples here? So first of all, let me put our formality. You should know these are classes of phylum Mollusca. We are talking about phylum Mollusca, and Mollusca includes 7 classes: Aplacophora, Polyplacophora, Monoplacophora, Gastropoda, Scaphopoda, Pelsipoda, Cephalopoda. I completed Aplacophora, Polyplacophora, Monoplacophora, and Gastropoda. Yeah, completed. Now we have to talk about the Scaphopoda. Examples first: Dentalium and Pulsellum. Dentalium and Pulsellum. Interesting animals these are. That what I mean, these animals are elephant tusk shells or tooth shells. We use it to say commonly tusk shells or tooth shells. Which shell tusk, which tusk or which tooth? When it is asked, that is elephant. Elephant tusk shells or tooth shells, we can say. Okay, I'll try to moderate the diagram, the rough diagram of these. They look like a elephant tusk. like this. No, no, no. It should become broader when it go in the end. So like this elephant tusk or tooth shells. So that is the shape of the animal. So that's why we can say here why it is said like that. That you will come to understand. Okay, so commonly called, that will start from there. Commonly called tusk shells. Commonly called as tusk shells. These animals commonly called tusk shells or tooth shells. Which one means elephant? Elephant tusk, elephant tooth, not ours. Tusk shells or tooth shells. Marine animals these are exclusively marine. Marine organisms. Marine in habitat. Scaphopoda, marine in habitat. Okay. Next, the other characteristic features that we said about the shell, isn't it? Shell is tubular and tusk-like, opens at both ends, as I shown in the diagram. Shell is tubular and tusk-like, opens at both ends. It opens at both ends. You see the both ends are getting opened over here. It opened here and this side also. It opens at both ends. So what are absent that we have to see here before that? The food, about the food. Food is cone-like. Food is cone-like and useful for digging. Let me draw the food like this. Food is cone-like, useful for digging. That will write here. Food is cone-like and useful for digging. That in marine water, in the bottom of the sea, they used to dig with the help of this. Useful for digging. Next, that what are absent here? Eyes, tentacles, cnidia, and atria. Eyes are absent. We said in case of gastropoda, eyes are present. Tentacles are present in gastropoda. Here, no eyes, no tentacles, no gills. Then how do they respire? We said the tusk is open on both sides. When water goes from there, they will be able to collect the oxygen. Cnidia, gills are absent. Okay, cnidia are absent. We call gills cnidia. Okay, that atria is absent. The heart chamber atria. These are all absent here. Eyes, tentacles, cnidia, gills, and atria are absent. Okay. Next, a large number of thread-like structure, which is the unique feature of these. A large number of thread-like structure called captacula are present, which are the adhesive knobs. These are which are used to capture the food material. The captacula, we can say like this. Captacula are present with adhesive knobs at the tips, which these captacula are helpful to capture the prey. The cone-like food for digging and captacula are the unique features here. Okay, so what are these? A large number of thread-like, large number of thread-like structures called captacula, called captacula are present here that which are help in the captacula which help in the capture of food. So I'll show you the captacula. So this is captacula. And food is cone-like, we said. Okay, so this is the cone. Cone-like food useful for the digging. Shell is tubular and tusk-like, opens at both ends. Shell is tubular and tusk-like, opens at both ends. So that's all about the Scaphopoda. So talking about dentalium and pulsellum. Examples of these dentalium and pulsellum. So these are the examples here that to be remembered in case of Scaphopoda. Foot is cone-like and useful for digging, and the captaculi are present here. These captaculi useful for the capture of prey. Okay, so that's it about Scaphopoda. Now moving on with Pelcipoda. Pelcipoda, phylum Mollusca. We are discussing about phylum Mollusca. The classes of phylum Mollusca, the Pelcipoda, completed Aplacophora, Polyplacophora, Monoplacophora, Gastropoda, Scaphopoda. We are completed. Now we are moving with Pelcipoda. So what Pelcipoda? Pelcipoda, the class include Pelcipoda. The class Pelcipoda is also called bivalvia. First of all, we'll write that bivalvia. Pelcipoda or bivalvia. That we have another name, Lamellibranchiata, based on the gills. We call it as Lamellibranchiata. Plate-like gills are present here. Gills are plate-like, which are adhesive, speciality that the suspension feeding. That we'll discuss. We'll discuss slowly. We'll go. That what we said. This is a much famous class actually. Our said Perleisters are present here itself. Perleister, the decorative people use it for decoration. That Perleisters are here only. Mutyalandi, Pinctada vulgaris. So, should write examples first of all, isn't it? Okay, we'll write in the end. That first of all, let us write. Let's start with the common names of Pelcipoda. This class include mussels. This class, the Pelcipoda, include mussels, oysters, clams, mussels, oysters, clams, etc. That in this present in the class Pelcipoda. Then what is the speciality? Body is laterally compressed. Body is laterally compressed. Body is laterally compressed and covered by shell. Laterally compressed. Let me extend. So body is laterally compressed and covered by a shell made up of two walls. Covered by a shell made up of two walls. That's why we say bivalvia. So why it is called bivalvia? The body is laterally compressed and covered by shell which is made up of two walls. So here we need comparison. In case of gastropoda, we made a shell and that shell we called it as univalvular. Now you see here. So these kind of shells you might have seen over. That means which will open like two pieces, soap box like. Okay, so I'll show you the opened shell. So this is called bivalvia. Whenever they'll show the pells, they'll show like this, this kind of pells. Okay. So this is snail and this is bivalvia. Gastropods are univalvular and these pelcipods are said to be bivalvular. Okay, let's come with the characteristic feature. Then after in the final, we'll go with examples. Finally, we'll go with examples. So the characteristic features of these organisms, we start from head. Head and sensory appendages are greatly reduced. Head and sensory appendages are greatly reduced. These organisms, head and sensory appendages. To see head and sensory appendages, the best one is gastropoda and the coming one is cephalopoda. Okay, so in that, that well-developed head and sensory appendages are present. Next, foot. The foot is wedge-shaped. That let me show you that particular the bivalvular organism and wedge-shaped foot, like plowshare. That means a farmer used the plow to plow the particular fields. So that kind of plowshare. Okay, so we compare with the plowshare like this. So the what we said about the foot is wedge shape. Foot is wedge shape. So this class include mussels, oysters, and clams. We said body is laterally compressed and covered by shell. Body is laterally compressed, covered by shell made up of two walls. Head and sensory appendages are greatly reduced. We said, and foot is wedge shape. Hence the name Pelcipoda. The name Pelcipoda because of that particular wedge-shaped foot only. So the foot is wedge-shaped, used to plow through the bottom of the sea, like plowshare a farmer will do plowing. That in the similar kind of issue it is. Okay, so this foot adapted for digging and bises threads like captacula of the scaphopoda. Here, bises threads are present. These are the bises threads. So bises threads are present. Okay, what is the speciality of these bises threads? That help in attaching to the substratum. Bises threads are present. Bises threads are present, which are helping, which helps to attach the substratum. Not in all, but most of them. That in some like Mytilus, will find this particular feature. Mytilus. Okay, so in case of Mytilus, we'll find this kind of bises threads which are helping attach to the substratum. As I am saying from the beginning, that Rhodgilla is absent, isn't it? All 7 classes except Pelcipoda is having Rhodgilla. That in Bivalvia or Pelcipoda, Rhodgilla is absent. Okay. So then what is present then? The crystalline style, not in the same place. Crystalline style is present. Here is a unique feature of only Pelcipoda. Crystalline style used for the digestion of starch. It is used for the digestion of starch. Okay, so I'm not saying this is instead of Rhodgilla. Rhodgilla is a rasping structure, but Rhodgilla is absent. That which is the unique feature. Crystalline style is present. That is also unique to this particular. What is the location of the crystalline style? That location of Rhodgilla, we said in buccal cavity. Here, crystalline style is there in stomach, which is used for the digestion of starch. Okay, next, the very, very important feature, that why we call them as lamellibranchiata. Why we said them as lamellibranchiata? The plate-like gills are present here. Plate-like gills. Okay, so what is the plate-like gills? What are the speciality? Not only for respiration, they also act like plate-like gills, adhesive in nature. The plate-like gills, we say lamellibranchiata. Hence, we call it as lamellibranchiata. So, what they do here, they also use it for respiration, okay, and also they are used for the suspension feeding mode of nutrition. Suspension feeders. Okay, suspension feeding is there. So new word, suspension feeding. Actually not a new word. From the beginning we are observing in canal system, from the flow of water we collect food material, isn't it? So that means if anything is catched over from the flow, we can call suspension feeding. Like this, the water is going through the body or somewhere else. If we capture the food from there, if we capture the food from there, so that what you can call suspension feeding or filter feeding, we can say suspension feeding or filter feeding. As from the beginning in canal system also we are seeing. So these plate-like gills, what is the advantage here? They have adhesive in nature. They collect oxygen, okay, but when food is going, that when water is going through this particular gills, they trap the food material. They trap the food material because of their adhesive nature. They trap. So that's why what we are saying, the gills are not only for respiration, also for suspension feeding or filter feeding. They do that, we can see. So that is a speciality of this particular gills, plate-like gills. The speciality of plate-like gills. So bises threads, absence of Rhodgilla, presence of crystalline style, that all are unique. Okay, next we'll go with the reproduction here. They are dioecious, that means unisexual as well. The unisexual, dioecious or unisexual, we can say. Male female reproductive systems are separate. You can say next development is indirect. Indirect development is present. development is indirect in mollusca. So need to say the larval form. When we announce indirect development, we should announce the larva also. So veliger is there as usual. From the beginning, we are talking trochophore order in wise. We say primitive one is trochophore. Then that modified version of the trochophore is veliger. Okay, more modified that we say glochidium larva. Glochidium is special. See the color for glochidium. Glochidium. In case of some mussels, we'll find here that the freshwater mussels, glochidium larva, occur in freshwater mussel, unio. Glochidium larva occurs in freshwater mussels, such as unio. Freshwater mussels. Speciality that is ectoparasite on the gills of the fishes. The larva is ectoparasite. A thief from childhood, not from childhood, only in childhood. Okay, so this is going to be Glochidium larva is going to be a parasite in the gills of fishes. So that's it. That all about the specialities. Examples are very very important here. So let's come through the examples of this particular class. Examples. So we mentioned some in between, isn't it? Unio, which is commonly called freshwater mussel. Unio, freshwater mussel. Mytilus, marine water mussel. Mytilus is marine water mussel. Pinctada, Pinctada vulgaris. Pearl oyster, we can say. Pinctada vulgaris. Pearl oyster. Pteridome, shipworm, wood borer it is. That means pterido is dangerous to the ships. A pholas, rock borer, can make holes in the rock even. So this is that very diversified class. It is even that Pinctada pearl oyster. Making pearl oyster is possible by that particular. We are not making here. Actually, the naturally they form that we collect them. That's all. What are they? Just the Mytilus. Let me write first. Then we go for. We'll have a small look on the pearl preparation, marine water mussel, Pinctada, pearl oyster. We know that mantle is going to secrete the shell, isn't it? Mantle is going to secrete the shell. Okay, so there itself we'll talk about that particular area. The we know the in all these organisms, body is present and body is surrounded by a structure. What do you say? Mantle, and that mantle secrete the shell. So that we know already. So in what is actually pearl? Some accidental introducing a salt, that sorry, some rock material, any sand particle. If accidentally between the in the mantle cavity, if it is reached over, that cause some irritation to that particular. I'll bring out the sand particle that cause irritation to that particular organism. So by for irritation, what it will do? It will form, it secrete a shell layers around it. Mantle secrete a shell layers around it. Okay. Then will irritation will be reduced? No, irritation will increase. Again one more layer, again one more layer, again one more layer. Likewise, that layer by layer, that shell layers it is going to secrete. That is to protect, that means due to irritation, we see. Okay. You imagine yourself here in a tight t-shirt, that your hands are tied and sand particle introduced into your skin and t-shirt. What happens? Do you irritate or not? That irritation itself occurs. Okay, over a period of time, molluscans are soft-bodied animals. Over a period of time, animal dies, that body will decompose. Then who remain? Who remain? Shell will remain. If you open that shell, you will find that irritation capsules. No, people say them as pearls. Okay, so what is a pearl? Pearl is nothing but irritation of a particular molluscan, the oyster. Okay, so why that is so famous? These particular layers secreted by Pinctada vulgaris is shining. That's why by making the chains or something else is a woman like this. Okay, so that's it. So many other oysters will also do the same. Their irritations also form this kind of small pearls, but they are not shining. That's why they are not valuable. Only Pinctada vulgaris is valuable. And when demand increases, what I said in the beginning, by accidentally it enters. Okay. So that people nowadays making their entry, that intentionally they are making the entry of sand particles in them. They are irritating and they are getting pearls. Okay, you just remember that irritation of paralyzed is pearls. All girls should excuse me when you wear a pearl chain. If that word irritation will come in the mind, I am not responsible. I said about the facts, that's all. Let's talk. Let's finally go with the cephalopoda. Cephalopoda. Cephalopoda include cuttlefishes. Cephalopoda include the common names cuttlefishes, more diversified. Squids are present here. Cuttlefishes, squids, octopus, nautili. That cephalopoda includes. Cephalo. Trend change, we have seen the Aplacopora, Polyplacopora, Monoplacopora. Shell is absent, shell is divided into 8 plates and shell is single. After that, Gastropoda, because of the torsion, food came out from the stomach, Gastropoda. Scaphopoda, food is cone-like. Felcipoda, food is wedge-shaped. Cephalopoda, food is divided into, okay, food came from head. Okay, so that you remember octopus, that I will find so clear. Cephalopoda. Food came from the head. This is head, octopus. So from the head food came. So that's why it is called cephalopoda. So cuttlefishes are there, squids are there, octopuses are there, and nautili. That nautilus and nautili commonly called are there here. That all the different sites of examples from here. Next, cephalopoda is very important in IP examination point of view. Just take a look. Head is distinct, clearly seen. As keep octopus in mind, everything will come. Head is distinct with conspicuous eyes, similar to those of vertebrates. Head is distinct with conspicuous eyes. So you see here, I drawn the eyes. Where is my pen? Yeah. Head is distinct with a pair of conspicuous eyes. Head is distinct with a pair of conspicuous eyes which look like vertebrates. So that is one of the speciality here. That distinct with, let me start here with conspicuous eyes. Isn't it? Okay. Let me write this first of all. So head is distinct with conspicuous eyes similar to that of vertebrate, similar to the vertebrate eye, similar to the vertebrate eye. So that is one of the speciality of cephalopoda. So many unique features are there. Just stay here. That very, very important in examination, AP examination point of view even. A pair of horny beak-like jaws. A pair of horny beak-like jaws are present. Jaw-like structure. We can't say jaws clearly. A pair of horny beak-like jaws are present in the buccal cavity. A pair of horny beak-like jaws are present in the buccal cavity. In the buccal cavity, as usual, we have radula. Radula is present in the buccal cavity. So that also we have to say radula is present in the buccal cavity. So buccal cavity contains radula in all the 7 classes except Pelcipoda. Okay, all the classes of mollusca except Pelcipoda. Now here we are saying additionally we added some beak-like jaws. The horny beak-like jaws which are present in the buccal cavity. Okay. Next, about the foot, we have to talk about the foot. Foot is modified into 8 to 10 arms. Foot is modified into octopus. The name is that foot is modified into 8 to 10 arms. 10 arms. Okay, so where do you see that 8 arms, 8 in octopus, isn't it? Up to, that means nothing but 8. Then 10 arms also present in some. So 10 in case of sepia, cuttlefish, we used to say. 10, 8 to 10 arms are present here. 8 is so famous. We know that sepia and loligo are having this particular 8 to 10 arms. Say 8 in octopus, 10 in sepia and loligo. Okay. So next, sepia is a cuttlefish. Loligo is called squid. We'll see in the end that sepia and loligo, all the common names of individual organisms here. Then the about the food, we said that what is the speciality of food here? The food is provided with suckers present around the mouth, and a part of the food is modified into siphon. Let me write about the food here. Food is modified into 8 to 10 arms. Okay, so food surrounds the mouth, isn't it? Cephalopoda, cephalohead surrounds the mouth, even bear suckers. That food bear suckers present around the mouth and bear suckers. That is very important. I'll adjust, okay. And bear suckers. In some, very interesting issue here. In some, in case of some, that one of the food is modified into a siphon, like a tube-like structure. Imagine there is an enemy. Okay, so that this organism having ink glands. So if there is an enemy in front, almost gone, trapped by that particular enemy, at the time through the ink glands, ink will be secreted over. Ink will be secreted from the ink gland, and that ink will dissolve through, comes out through the siphon, and that form a screen in front of the predator. And then in the mean period of time, this escapes. That is a speciality of that particular one of the food. We said 8 to 10 arms, they get modified over. One of the food modified into siphon, and that siphon is having this particular special feature, we said. Yes, okay, so let me write here. Food surrounds the mouth and bear sucker. Food is divided into, food is modified into 8 to 10 arms. And one more speciality, one of the arm of the food is modified into siphon. Siphon is a modified food, from which the secretions of ink glands, will come out. Ink glands will come out to escape from predator. Okay, so remember it like a story. You'll be able to write. The word to be remembered is siphon. Okay, siphon, which is useful in swift darting movements also. Then a particular siphon, in case of some, the ink gland eject the cloud of ink to escape from the predator. We call it as a defense adaptation. Okay, next, the remaining features. We'll focus on the remaining features like ctenidia. About ctenidia, we have to say ctenidia. What that means? Gills. Atria and nephridia are two. Ctenidia, atria, and nephridia are two. What is two? If they are in ctenidia, nephridia, and atria, if they are two, we call that organisms as dibranchiates. We say them as dibranchiates. So that example for dibranchiate, sepia. Sepia itself example for dibranchiata. Okay. Next, the same old feature I write here, that if the ctenidia, atria, nephridia are, if the ctenidia, atria, and nephridia are number, if they are 4, we say tetrabranchiata. We say it as tetrabranchiata. Just to remember these organisms in the form of dibranchiata and tetrabranchiata. That dibranchiate, we said sepia. Tetrabranchiate is said to be nautilus, is a tetrabranchiate. Dibranchiata and tetrabranchiata. Okay, so the remaining features, very important feature. I'm erasing this and I'm changing color. For that, circulatory system is closed type. As we said, in case of total mollusca, circulatory system is open, but here the circulatory system is closed type. That is special feature. Conspicuous eyes. Foot is divided into 8 to 10 arms. One of them is modified into siphon. All these are unique features of this particular. Okay, so closed type of vascular system. Heart has 2 to 4 atria and ventricle. That heart is with 2 to 4 atria. Heart is with 2 to 4 atria and a ventricle is present in the heart. Heart is with 2 to 4 atria and one ventricle is present. Nervous system is well developed with a well developed brain. Brain, we are talking about brain. Nervous system is well developed. Nervous system is well developed and well developed nervous system with brain. So brain is protected by cartilaginous endoskeleton. It is protected by cartilaginous endoskeleton. No, any of the class of phylum Mollusca will have these kind of features, isn't it? The cartilaginous endoskeleton, we can see. So nervous system is well developed, is with well developed brain, is with, here we have to write with, is with well developed brain, and it is protected by cartilaginous endoskeleton. Endoskeleton, what I mean, inside the body. So cartilaginous endoskeleton, we call it as a cartilaginous cranium, brain case. We can say it as cartilaginous cranium or brain case. Let me write cartilaginous cranium or brain case. Okay, so that is the speciality of them. Nervous system is unique. Their reproduction, that about reproduction, they are unisexual. Okay, so unisexual organisms, that means dioecious as well, we say dioecious, and sexes are separate. Development is direct. Development is direct. Okay, is direct. So that's all about the features of cephalopoda. Only left thing here in case of cephalopoda is about the shell. Shell we have to see. Shell. So I'm continuing cephalopoda. So about the shell we have to discuss. Let me discuss about the shell. Shell is external. Shell is internal. Shell is internal. Shell is absent. That means that variation we have in these organisms, shell is external and shell is internal. Shell may be absent. Okay, so that we have to talk about. Shell is external and multi-chambered in. Shell is external and multi-chambered in. Let me adjust. So talking about the shell, shell is external and multi-chambered. Shell may be internal. Shell may be absent. Shell is external and multi-chambered in Nautilus. Okay. Shell is internal in Loligo. Shell is absent in Octopus. Shell is absent in Octopus. Shell is external and multi-chambered in Nautilus. Shell is internal in Loligo. Shell is absent in Octopus. Okay. So these are the general characters of this particular. As I mentioned the names from the beginning, but let's take a look of the examples of this particular class. Examples, let's take a look. Sepia. Sepia, which is commonly called cuttlefish. Sepia, cuttlefish. Examples of this particular area. Architeuthis. We discussed about the Architeuthis yesterday also. Architeuthis, giant squid. Giant squid. Architeuthis, giant squid. What is the speciality? Largest invertebrate. Largest living invertebrate is Architeuthis. Octopus. The devil fish. We used to say octopus is a devil fish. A nautilus. Nautilus is, well, these are the examples of cephalopoda. Okay, so the characters to be remembered, that head is distinct with conspicuous eye similar to the vertebrate eye, pair of horny beak-like jaws present in the buccal cavity, radula is there in the buccal cavity, foot is modified into 8 to 10 arms, 8 in octopus, 10 in sepia and loligo. Foot surrounds the mouth and bear suckers. That siphon is a modified food from which secretions of the ink glands will come out to escape from the predator. Ctenidia, Atria, Nephridia, 2 in dibranchiate. Ctenidia, Atria, Nephridia, 4 in tetrabranchiate. Dibranchiate is sepia and tetrabranchiate is nautilus. Closed vascular system, heart is with 2 to 4 atria and a ventricle. The well-developed nervous system with cartilaginous cranium protected by a brain protected by cartilaginous cranium or brain case. Unisexual animal development is indirect, the direct development, and the shell is external multi-chambered in nautilus, internal in loligo, absent in octopus. Example, sepia, cuttlefish, architeuthis, giant squid, the largest invertebrate, living invertebrate, largest known living invertebrate. Octopus is a devilfish, and then finally nautilus. This is about all the 7 classes of phylum mollusca. Phylum mollusca. Aplacophora, Polyplacophora, Monoplacophora, Gastropoda, Scaphopoda, Scaphopoda, Pelsipoda, Cephalopoda. These are all the 7 classes of phylum mollusca. Okay.